Welcome to Battletech, the game of armored combat. This is a game that has a lot of history behind it. Came out in the 80s. There was a time when it was really popular. It was mainstream, and then the company making it, FASA, something happened. They lost control of, I think they may have gone out of business or something, but something happened to them. Battletech, it's probably better known as the Mech Warrior and Mech Assault series, which is part of the Battletech. A Mech Warrior is a type of soldier in the Battletech universe. It disappeared, and then out of nowhere, when I say it disappeared basically since the original Xbox, and then out of nowhere, it just kind of came back, and it's back. And they rebooted it and redesigned it, because the old BattleMechs, they're a little goofy looking from their old kind of like 70s inspired design. How popular was it though? Well, fortunately, I can actually show you. So we'll be looking at battletechsarna.net. This is like the Battletech wiki. But Battletech had a cartoon series, believe it or not. That's how popular it was.
This is the inner sphere. Thousands of planets colonized by humankind. Once it was united under the Star League. But for the last 300 years, it has been consumed by savage wars. Until a new enemy appeared. Mysterious invaders known as...
Look at this guy. I'm so evil! This is this guy's from Jade Falcon. The clans are these really mysterious guys that... They're typically viewed as the bad guys, the antagonists of the series, but what's funny is this cartoon is the events are not canon because it was a really crappy cartoon, but the story writers accepted that the cartoon is a part of the Battletech universe, and they canonized it as a children's propaganda cartoon.
Clans.
Oh my God.
Ruthless. They struck like lightning, attacking every sector at once. But they made one big mistake. They attacked my home planet. Now in the spirit of the Star League, ancient enemies have reunited. And we're gonna take back our galaxy.
Oh my God, it's like we're really there. The graphics are so realistic. Oh my God. Like, this is too much for me. Yeah, you kill those elementals. Like, that is some, you got an assault mech destroying little baby elementals. That's, you got a real warrior there. The intro didn't have the most catchy theme song, which is a shame. Cartoons need to have a good catchy theme song. Anyway, so yes, there was a cartoon. It started out as a board game. You play these little plastic miniatures. You know, more enthused people would paint them. And there are a ton of books. Books everywhere. There are, I don't know how many, they're like well over 100. There's a lot of books. Here's what one of the old games looked like. Mech Warrior 2. This was considered like super advanced at the time. This was like mind-blowing graphics. Like, it was like blowing people away. This game was about the clans too. This is the first game I played in the Battletech universe, so I was brought up as the clans, thinking that they were the good guys. But eventually, yes, they would redesign it. And as I said, what I want to do is we are going to refer back to this website so you can see what the original designs looked like. Anyways, we're going to be playing the campaign. I have not finished the campaign, so some of it will be fresh. I would say I've only done like 3 of the campaign missions or so. I am going to do a custom campaign. I'm going to change some things because there's some things I don't like about the base rules. I want to make it slightly harder. I'm not going to do Iron Man mode because the game has some bugs that can prevent you from completing missions, and that's annoying. We won't skip the prologue. We are going to do, where is it? Unequipped mechs. That's the only change I'm going to make. What this means is when I find the spare parts to build a new mech, they don't come with their weapons installed. They just come basically naked. And that's the way I like it, because that's realistic. Like, why would they come with their weapons? But that's what we're going to do, so let's get this game started. I don't know if there's a cutscene yet. I think I make my character first. Oh, it's thinking. Oh, there we go. There you go. It was confused. It was like, why wouldn't you want weapons on your mech when you salvage them? It was just unsure. So this is basically a video gamification of the board game. They've rebalanced it, and obviously, since the video game is cutscene.
I am Kamea of House Urano, High Lady of the Oregon Reach, Protector of Coromadir, and the Sword of Restoration. But I am not a hero, no matter what the stories say. A hero would have sacrificed more, compromised less. A hero would have done better. You know this, of course. You were there. My father used to tell me stories about the ancient times, about the Star League, a golden age of prosperity, upheld by the great Mech warriors of old, guardians of the innocent, protectors of the peace. I always dreamed of following in their footsteps. I was too young to see the truth of things. After all, it wasn't heroism or a noble cause that won me the throne. It was hiring a mercenary, skilled enough, perhaps ruthless enough, to carry the day. Hiring you. I still don't know if you fought for honor or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just in my money. But whether it was your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
There's a lot of language in Battletech. There's a lot of lingo. It's such an old series. It has a lot of history. One of the things you should probably know is that even though we're in the future, we kind of live in sci-fi feudalism. And so we live in a time of like lords and ladies, and everything is very knightly. So mech warriors are kind of viewed as knight errants, basically. And we're a mercenary, so we're kind of frowned upon. Like, mercenaries are kind of like, oh, you know, you're not of noble birth. Except we actually are. Welcome to the Oregon Reach. The Oregon Reach is a small kingdom in the... I mean, listen to that. A kingdom, the way they're describing a nation-state. Like I said, it's got this feudal, medieval element, despite being in the future. A small kingdom in the rimward periphery, a region of space that lies at the outskirts of the more densely colonized inner sphere. It is home to the Oregon Coalition, a federation organized around a parliamentary monarchy and ruled by the Urano family. For 3 generations, under the rule of House Urano, the Oregon Coalition has remained a relatively peaceful corner of the periphery. It is here your story begins, oh my. So we're going to make the most anonymous person possible. So, first off, we're a noble, and that means we came from a noble family. The first 5 here, House Corita, House Merrick, House Davion, House Steiner, and House Liao, they make up the inner sphere. When the Star League, which was, I guess, kind of like a super powerful United Nations, but on a more galactic scale, when they fell, these 5 houses rose up to try to fill the power vacuum, and they've been at war ever since. Then there are periphery houses, they're on the outskirts of the known galaxy, and we have the Magistra Canopus, the Tarian Concordat, the Rimward Periphery, the Deep Periphery. The first thing that's going to confuse you is the houses often have 2 names. The Draconis Combined, that's the name of their nation, their kingdom, but they're also known as Corita, the Coritans, House Corita. That's the noble family. The Corita family rules over the Draconis Combined. Same with that. House Merrick rules over the Free Worlds League. House Davion, I pronounce it, rules over the Federated Suns. Steiner over the Lyran Commonwealth. Liao over the Capellan Confederation. They're all quasi... House Kurita, for example, they're supposed to be like the futuristic Japanese. The United States, that's supposed to be approximately the Federated Sons and whatnot. It's up for debate, but they loosely mirror them. So we're going to come from the deep periphery, which basically means we come from absolutely the middle of nowhere. Mech warriors that hail from the deep periphery are rare, but even rarer is the mech warrior who will admit to such an origin. Beyond the outermost edges of the periphery lies depths of space that remain uncharted and unknown to most of human civilization. Little is known about these regions, but they are far from uninhabited. The deep periphery is littered with abandoned colonies and small outposts isolated from the rest of humanity. After the fall of the Star League, General Alexander Kerensky led the remnants of the Star League Defense Force into the deep periphery, disappearing from the inner sphere and from recorded history. That event was known as the Great Exodus. You were of noble birth, though immigrants of the Aurigan... So, we came from the deep periphery and we moved into the Aurigan Reach. Your family soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of Aurigan space. By the time you were born, your family had become de facto ruling nobility of the system's only inhabited planet. You were the oldest child, heir to the family's titles, and ancestral BattleMech, the old blackjack BJ-1. It says BJ. BattleMechs are really old. Not all of them. There are new BattleMechs, but many of them are really, really old, and they're passed down generation to generation. So they have like a history and a story behind them, and many of them are difficult to reproduce. The technology, due to the civil war that broke the Star League, has made many of them lost, and a lot of the ones we see today are kind of like imitations of the original designs. Less effective imitations. This is where you met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Secession Wars whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. Raju was a strict but capable teacher, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. It was an uneventful life. Until the day after your 16th birthday, when you were exiled, you struck out on your own, your family went bankrupt, family died in an accident, your family was betrayed. We'll go with bankruptcy, because that's a very anonymous thing. As you grew older, you watched your family's fortune, income, and influence slowly dwindle away until there was nothing left. Your parents, driven to despair, took their own lives. With nothing but your family's ancestral blackjack to call your own, you set off to make a new life for yourself. Game +1 in tactics and guts. Doesn't matter, I can customize myself. Out on your own, you fell into the life of a... Okay, so none of this really matters too much. This is just for role-playing purpose. The stats you get, not important. Like, they're basically just a few level ups. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna say a really basic thing. We're gonna be a merchant guard. You signed on as a guard for a small trading guild, providing security as the guild's caravan made trading runs between the inner sphere and the periphery. It was largely uneventful life, but you were able to put your mech warrior skills to good use in the occasional scuffle with pirates and uncooperative local governments, +1 to piloting. So this gives us a really kind of anonymous background. You know, we're not a glorious person or anything like that. Until years later, you cross paths with Raju Mastiff Montgomery once again. While escorting a supply caravan to a small outpost on the outskirts of the Aurigan Reach, you were set upon by pirates and left for dead. Raju happened to be visiting the capital city and picked up your distress call. Upon rescuing you, he offered you a job in the House Arano, a royal guard. So it is that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral blackjack for guard duty on the coronation day of Lady Kamea Arano. So now we're going to give our call sign is going to be Fox, and our name is Get Good Fox. That's good. My first name is Get Good, and my last name is Fox. Let's just quickly customize some guy. There's no way I can make any of these guys even look similar to me, so I'm just going to give them some hair, because I do like having hair in real life. I inherited pretty good hair. I can't see my eyebrows. That is definitely not the hair I'm going to be wearing. Very ordinary eyebrows. Give me my hair back. They don't have a hairstyle that's even close to mine, because I have more hair than most of these, but I don't have an emo comb over. But we're going to use that anyways. What is the full beard? There we go. Expression, I don't know. None of this really matters. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna do this just to... Oh, there we go. Now I'm super emo looking. Do we have orange? That's the closest thing. Like, I don't have, like, serious laugh lines or anything, but at the same time, this one makes me look like I have a baby face, which I don't, but I don't care. This guy, he's not supposed to look like me. And also, I want to get into the fighting. That's the main thing. So that's what I'm going to look like. Our stats, super unimportant. It doesn't matter. Anyways, here we go. The High Lord, Tamati Arano II, is dead. The Arigan Reach is left at an uncertain crossroads. Once prosperous, it is now a kingdom in decline, surrounded by powerful neighbors. Lord Santiago Espinosa, brother-in-law to the late High Lord, is convinced that the slow-moving Council of Founding Houses must be dissolved. His proposed directive would conscript their house guard and centralize power under a single throne. However, the High Lord's heir, the noble Lady Kamea Arano, is determined to rebuild the Reach without transforming it into an authoritarian state. She refuses to enact her uncle's directive and has rebuked his vehement pleas to reconsider. On the morning of Lady Arano's ascension to the throne, her loyal captain of the guard, Raju Mastiff Montgomery, made preparations to escort her safely to the coronation procession that awaits in Cordia City. So most of the nation-states in Battletech are authoritarian states because it's a time of extreme chaos, and basically it's not a time for voting. Like, it's a time of extremely powerful people with great visions, is basically. It's a very epic time, basically. It's a time of, like, Caesars, basically. So it's unusual that we have this kingdom that's trying to stay more of a republic. Like, that's a bit unusual within the Battletech universe, at least for the larger nation states. This is our blackjack, by the way. That is it.
Command interface initiated.
Oh my, the tutorial. I already know how to play since I've played 2 of the sandbox campaigns. And I can turn my camera, yes. I am aware of that. Raju Mastiff says, we'll just call him Raju. Okay, Fox. I had the Espinosa refit yards rush the repairs on your blackjack. Looks like it's all in one piece, but we should run some diagnostics on it just to be sure. Standard field test, you know the drill. More importantly, though, I want to tell you more about the job I brought you out here to do. Now do me a favor, get that BattleMech moving. Let's see if there are any kinks in the actuators. Which are the I believe the actuators are the joints.
Say it, kid. I wasn't completely honest with you the other day. There's gonna be more to this job than escort duty.
I brought you here because there's something wrong in the capital. It's been too quiet since Lord Tamati's funeral, and I'm worried about Lady Kamea's safety during her coronation procession. Anyway, looks like your actuators check out. Let's conduct a weapons test, target one of those burnt-out urban mechs and open fire.
Like I was saying, I can't prove anything. But my gut tells me something's off. And warrior trusts their instincts.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Good shot. Your guns are in working order, at least. I've been training Lady Arano since she was 14 years old. She can be naive at times and proud, but I have no doubt that she'll be a just and effective ruler. It's on us to see her safely to Cordia City. I'll rest easier once she's in the capital with her cousin Victoria by her side. Lady Victoria, well, she's only been training under me for a single season, but she's already shaped herself into one of the strongest mech warriors I've ever seen. Reminds me a lot of you, truth be told. Anyway, we should run a check on your targeting computer. You see that drone over there? The one moving through the tree line? Put some hurt on it for me, and when it turns, take it out with a rear angle shot. It's down. After it's down, we'll keep moving.
Kamea's like a daughter to me, and her late father, High Lord Tamati, was a good friend.
All weapons.
I'll talk more about the battle mechanics later. Nice shot! Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Aurigan politics, but the Reach was badly shaken by High Lord Tamati's death. It needs a smoother transfer of power, and Kamea belongs on the Cormorant throne. Go ahead and fire up those jump jets, kid. I want to see you descend the cliff face. Aim for that patch of ground right there near the edge of the lake. I think I'm in fast mode.
No punches, but she's been a loyal companion to Kamea since they were kids. Aside from you, there's no one I'd rather have by my side in a fight.
So let me change that. Settings. Where is... There is a command to slow the combat down. Speed up combat. There we go. I will speed it up again after you've kind of gotten the hang of what the game looks like. But now you'll see everything moves in much more slow motion. Or normal motion, I should say.
Enemy detected.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Jump jets build a lot of heat, and that was more than your engine could handle. Head on into that water. We need to get you cooled off.
I'll talk about the mechanics more after we're through the tutorial. The point, though, is that our mech is burning up because there was a jump jet malfunction. Warning, plasma leak detected. Jump jet malfunction. Jump jet systems damaged. System inoperable until repaired. Oh, for the love of the gods. This is what I get for insisting on a rush job. Not that I had much choice. The Espinosa refit yards were backlogged like you wouldn't believe. It looked like they were trying to process every single Royal Guard mech in time for the coronation. Okay, I guess they want me to do a melee attack. Sure, why not?
Engaging. Missile attack.
Good hit. At least that's solid. Alright, one last test. I want you to take your blackjack up to a sprint and evade my attack.
Push that engine, kid. If something goes wrong today, I want to know that your mech can maneuver.
Okay, this is a full sprint.
Full throttle.
Now the game is turn-taking, so... That's why I get to finish my movement and then he gets to shoot. Congratulations, Fox. Your blackjack's as combat-ready as it can be, given the circumstances. For what it's worth, I hope my suspicions turn out to be unfounded, and we end the day having a good laugh about what a paranoid old man I've become. But if not, then I know that you'll be ready. Alright, it's time to move out. Lady Arano is waiting for us at the mech bay.
An impressive display, Sir Raju. Of course, this mech warrior was a student of yours. I'd expect them to know their way around a cockpit.
And there we go. Tutorial mission. We'll do the first two tutorial missions, and then we'll call it a day. Fox, allow me to introduce you to Kamea Arano, the soon-to-be High Lady of the Aurigan Coalition. Is Lady Victoria on this channel? For the time being, my father has summoned me to the Picton docks. I have a fleet inspection and a tour of the family refit yards to preside over before the coronation. Behold the responsibilities of a noble daughter, a fount of tedium that never runs dry. I know the feeling, cousin. By this time tomorrow, I'll be responsible for the entire Reach. Give my best to your father, and don't be late for the tourney. The gambling dens are already taking bets on how long it'll take for me to cripple that customized monstrosity you pilot. Bold words, cousin, but the only victory they'll be celebrating is mine. You may be ascending to the throne today, but my Kaga is more than a match for that family heirloom that you call a BattleMech, and in the arena, I reign supreme. We'll see about that, cousin, we'll see. At any rate, I will see you at the tourney grounds. Saraju, I'm ready to go when you are. Overland along the Cormorant Road, as is the Arano tradition. Aye, Kamea. We'll get you there in one piece. Fox, fall in behind me. And remember what I told you. Ominous.
Mission successful.
Ooh. So that's the first half of the tutorial done. Now the next half. I'll talk a little bit more about the gameplay mechanics here because there will be less dialogue. But if you like games like... Oh, another cut. What's happening?
I remember the Oregon Reach of old, the time of the Great Expansion. I was just a boy then. Proudly we went forth, bringing the light of our coalition to so many systems. And for what? To see our great kingdom slowly waste away? Year after year, the Council deliberates while our economy falters, and the wolves bay at every door, while covetous neighbors plot against us. Well, I say, it can go no further. We are here today because if Lady Orana will not act, someone must. I know what I'm asking of you. You will face former comrades, or even loved ones, on the battlefield. I take up arms against my own niece. But remember, today we sacrifice so that tomorrow we can return our kingdom to its proper glory, to its proper strength. So should you fall tonight, know that you did so as true heroes of the Reach. To your stations, for the Directorate!
Coronation Day, Cordia City outskirts, 1322 local time. So afternoon, I guess. I'm not good with 24-hour time. Assuming that this planet goes by the standard 22-hour time. The Battletech series has a lot to do with moral gray. There typically are not obvious good guys and bad guys. Like, typically both sides of a fight have a logical argument for doing what they're doing. They really leave it up to the viewer or the reader, or in this case, the gamer, to decide for themselves who they think is right. Now, in this game, we have no choice but to side with Lady Orana, but that's generally how the stories go in these games, where yes, you have to pick a side, but at the same time,
Command interface.
the story is
initiated.
presented normally in a neutral manner. I'm going to miss this city, Raju. The clarity of purpose that I feel... Oh, I'm going to miss this, Raju. The clarity of purpose that I feel in the cockpit of a BattleMech. The simplicity of it, but there they are just ahead, the city gates, and my future all laid out before me. Wait, what's that smoke? A guard post. One of the small ones that dot the roads leading to the capital, but the emergency band's been quiet all morning. I haven't heard anything about any fire.
This is damned odd, and I don't like it. Kid, keep your head on a swivel and be ready for anything.
Okay, so now we control all three BattleMechs. We have Raju as codename, or his call sign is Mastiff, in the Centurion. We've got me in the Blackjack, and then we've got Lady Orano in the Kintaro. All of these are decent mechs, so this is a very competent task force.
Roger.
So let's just get moving forward. Some sort of explosion looks recent too. Do you think it was an accident? No chance. You see those scorch marks on the rubble? That's laser fire. We need to get you out of here, Kameo, right now. Yes, I think you're right. There's a patrol of Royal Guards mechs up ahead. We should go to them.
Whatever's happening here, I won't let it derail your coronation. Your people need you.
Thank you, Raju. I will prove myself worthy of the faith you've placed in me.
Whoa. Whoa. Why did it kick me back to here? Anyways, let's continue on. Gonna head down the road. Really tight
Sounds good. I'm moving.
area over here. If you like games like XCOM or Fire Emblem, then you'll be right at home with this kind of game. Although it is certainly a different kind of game. Like, one example is, the reason I can move this left and right, because that's the facing of my mech. Like if I don't move as far, I can change the facing of my mech in 360 degrees. That's a really important element. Getting on the road is going to help a lot because it's going to help us move faster. We run faster on the road. We move slower through trees and through water and whatnot.
How can I help?
So this gets us into the objective.
Aye, aye.
Hail, Mastiff, Lady Arano. We were preparing for Lady Arano's coronation parade when we got word of a disturbance along the Cormorant Road. A guard post behind us was attacked. Sir Raju found evidence of laser fire. Is the road behind you clear? Aye, all the way to the southern gate. Lead the way, Raju. We'll fall in behind you and guard your six. Tell me something, guardsman. If the road is clear, why is your BattleMech damaged? Our mechs are overdue for maintenance, but that isn't important right now. We need to worry about Lady Arano's safety. Now, my lady, if you'll come with us. No, you're lying to us. It's my coronation day. No mech tech would have sent you out for parade duty in that condition. I am your sovereign, sir, and you will tell me what happened here. Damn it, girl. We don't have time for this. Take them. Kill the old man and the mech warrior, but take Lady Arano alive.
Fall back, Kamea. Get behind us.
You didn't train me to cower, Raju. You trained me to fight.
So they get to go first?
Safety's disengaged.
That's because they are smaller mechs than us, and in the initiative stack, they get to go first.
That was sloppy, lad.
More on that later. This is the initiative stack, by the way, so mechs with initiative 4 get to go first. Why does... normally, a Centurion would not have initiative 4. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to move into the woods over here, because we get a cover bonus where we'll take a little bit less damage. And what I'm looking at right now is my weapon accuracy, which is basically how good of a shot am I going to get if I move here. And it looks like no matter what I do, if you look down here when I aim at them, that tells me my probability of hitting. One of my weapons just isn't going to have a good probability. There's not a lot I can do about it, though. I'm just too close. The specific type of missiles that he's equipped with, they're not designed to shoot at a target that close. So what I'm going to do is target him, but I'm going to tell him not to shoot the missiles. So he's going to fire his AC-10, which stands for Autocannon 10. He's going to shoot medium laser and a second medium laser. And he's got a 70% chance to hit with all of them. So let's let him rip and see what kind of effect do we get on this mech. This mech is pre-damaged. We can see right here. He's got a lot of armor loss. And it's what he said earlier, that, oh, why are you so banged up? So let's let her rip.
Firing on the enemy.
Got his arm. Left torso, left arm destroyed, heat sink destroyed. Pilot injured because the side torso was destroyed. Now this guy gets to move. What's he gonna shoot at? Ah, he gets behind me, goes for a rear shot. Not quite a rear shot, actually. He wasn't quite far enough behind. We took
Barely a scratch.
a 40% damage reduction on that because we're in cover, and he had some special abilities. Same thing, we're gonna go here, and we're gonna see what we can do. Once again, same thing. If you look down here, our accuracy on those LRMs, which stands for long-range missile, target is just too close. We have to get farther away to have better accuracy on it, but that's fine. This Kintaro is designed for close combat, so getting into cover. We're going to target this mech once again. He's out of cover, so he's a great target. Great accuracy on these. 90% accuracy with both of the medium lasers, and 80-ish accuracy on SRM 6. Stands for Short Range Missile 6. 6 tells you that it's a missile pod of 6, so we're going to be firing 6 missiles, 6 missiles, 6 missiles. We're not going to shoot the LRM, so we'll be shooting, 18 missiles at them? Lots of missiles. SRM's lots of missiles. Let us see what happens, though. Both of his arms are down, so we've destroyed most of his weapons. The pilot's injured again from the other half of his torso being destroyed. Now it's my turn. I can't get into cover, so I'm just not even going to bother. So I'm just going to see, where can I get a good shot? This looks like a really clean shot. Percentages are all in the 70s, which is, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. So we're just going to fire with all of our weapons. When you shoot every one of your weapons, it's known as an alpha strike. And let's just fire. We've got 4 medium lasers and 2 AC-2s, autocannon 2. The bigger the number on the autocannon, the heavier caliber the ammo. But so in this case, this is a lighter attack. Now this guy's actually really beat up, so this is actually overkill. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to fire my 2 autocannons, and I'm going to assume that's going to be enough to kill him.
Engaging target.
Nice
Yep,
job,
we got him.
kid. One fewer hostile on the board.
Now that saves heat. Well, lasers generate a lot of heat.
How can I help?
Now this guy over here, I think I might punch him, or I might get behind. No, I'm going to go for a rear attack. Yeah, so we can get behind him here.
I'm moving.
And now, so this is his rear armor. The red brackets, that tells me what parts are eligible to be shot at. So the front of his mech is not eligible to be shot at, which should make sense because I'm behind him. I can't shoot him from the front if I'm behind. The rear armor is thinner than the front armor, so this mech is really beat up anyways, though, so it doesn't matter too much. Once again, we're too close for the long-range missiles to be effective, so we're just going to shoot with our main weapons here, the AC-10 and the 2 medium lasers.
Roger that.
This is a bigger mech, though, so we still got his arm, though.
That was a critical
Ammo
hit,
explosion occurred on him, so we got some bonus damage there. What's he doing? Coming in for a melee attack? He misses. We can do the same thing, though. Since he got into close combat, that means I can get around behind him. And
I'm moving out.
we'll plug some more shots into his back. So over here, we can see that his side torso was totally destroyed. The armor on his left torso is holding, and the armor on his center torso, that's important. If the center torso goes, your mech explodes, or you've destroyed the engine, basically. So this guy's going to go down, and I'm not going to shoot the lasers because they generate a lot of heat, and I'm going to trust that these missiles are going to be enough to finish him off. And it was. How do you know it was enough? Just playing the game long enough to get a hang of what the damage you can do is. Alexander Madeira, new character. Kamea, can you hear me? Alexander, we were just attacked. The Royal Guard, my own guardsmen, tried to take me prisoner. It's happening here too. The Royal Guard are killing one another in the halls. Lord Corosis, House Guard, just got gunned down in front of me. The Tourney Pavilion is a slaughterhouse. I won't let these seditionists, or whoever they are, steal my birthright. We need to rally every loyalist we can find and make a push on the capital. I'll take the throne by force if I must. Go to Rotura Township to the armory. Your soldiers are using it as a rally point, I heard. Lord Decimus sent his house guard there a few minutes ago. Someone's here. I have to move. Rally what forces you can and meet me at the tourney grounds. Be safe. You heard him, Mastiff. Rotura Township will go there, rally our fighters, and march on the southern gate with an army at our back. Kamea, I know that you and Lord Madeira are friends, but we can't take what he told you on faith. Right now, we don't know who we can trust. In this case, we do. Alexander has been my closest friend and confidant for as long as I can remember. His loyalty is beyond question. I trust him with my life and yours. Now take me to the armory. As you command, my lady.
Traitors in the guard. And I fear this is only the beginning. Follow me. Keep close and remember your training. Things are likely to get ugly between here and there.
So now we've detected vehicles on our radar. Since we don't actually have a good look at them, we don't actually physically see them, so they are represented by radar contacts. The closer we get to it, we can learn a little bit about them. Like, we can see this is a 35-ton vehicle, a 25-ton vehicle, and a 30-ton vehicle.
Got your back.
Not a threat to a BattleMech, though, so not a big deal. So, I
Got a
didn't
new
sprint
contact
here,
on my screen.
which means it doesn't end my turn, so I'm going to go ahead and brace, which raises my defenses. Now they get to move forward. Okay, one of them reveals themselves as a galleon. Shoots us, but since we're guarding, we get a 40% armor, or 40% damage reduction, which is good.
Have my attention.
Now, over here, so these little dots tell me where I can move. This green dot is good, because it's telling me it's a defensive position. So I'm going to run over to this green dot, move my mech so I'm facing straight forward. That way I can actually shoot.
Copy that.
So if they shoot back, I'm in cover, I'll take a damage reduction. And I'm starting to get a better look at the targets. I am going to look at what our probability of hitting is. And since this one is closer by, we have a better chance of hitting it. But it already took its turn. It already moved. This one has not. So if I shoot at this one and destroy it, then it's dead and it doesn't get to use its turn. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot at it. And since we're really far away from it, the LRMs are more useful. I don't want to heat up too much though, so I'm probably going to deactivate 2 of my SRMs. That way I generate some heat. And since this tank is pretty banged up, I don't feel bad about shooting 2 less of them. So let's see what we got. This is my heat over here. If it reaches this line, I start overheating and my circuits start to fry. So we need to stay below that. Easily destroyed. And so it doesn't get to shoot, so that means we take less damage because we destroyed it before it got its chance to shoot at us. Now this one should get to move. The Scorpion moves forward. Shoots us. We don't have the same defensive bonuses, so we take a 20% defensive reduction rather than a 40%. So it looks like nowhere I move gets me in range to shoot at anybody, so I'm going to sprint, just so I can get a little further. And I'm probably going to sprint into cover right here.
Full throttle.
My mech is the slowest. Actually, I think I'm just as fast as the Centurion, but the Kintaro runs faster, a little bit faster than the other mechs, so it has a tendency to outpace us. Incoming missiles. Showered us a little bit, not too bad though.
Talk to me.
So same thing, we're gonna move into cover right ahead here. And I believe all of them moved. No, their turns are right here. So the 4s go first, then the 3s, then the 2s, and that tells you your mech initiative or your unit initiative. So right now, if I can take either of these guys out, one of these 2 will get bleeped off, basically, and they won't get to shoot. The Scorpion does a bit more damage, so I'm going to target the Scorpion. And I'm just going to fire these weapons at it, to be honest. These are good enough.
Damn you for making me do that, son. Damn you.
So that one doesn't get to shoot, saved a little bit of damage on us.
The poor bastards.
Galleon moves forward. Vehicles are typically no match for a BattleMech. BattleMechs have a huge advantage on vehicles. There are some really annoying vehicles, and there are some very deadly vehicles, but generally speaking, vehicles have no chance against a BattleMech. So I'm going to move here and pick this guy off. I'm not going to shoot all my guns because I've got pretty reliable aim. I'm going to shoot 2 of the additional lasers, though, just to make sure in the event I do miss that I can get through that armor and shoot this guy up. There we go. Wasn't sure if that was enough to get him.
Enemy unit destroyed.
So they're taking some pretty huge casualties. Now, what I can do is I can move out of cover and shoot, and I'm going to do that because I'm pretty confident we can take this guy out. This is a striker. Strikers are normally on the annoying side, but because it's so damaged, it just doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it a lot harder. And, I'm going to fire 2 medium lasers and 2 SRM-6s. That should be enough without burning my mecha. And that's the end of those vehicles. So very clean, just rock solid, just very safe gameplay.
Oh no. No. We're too late.
So it looks like her outpost was destroyed, which looks like the coronation isn't going quite as planned, but let's get in here.
I'm on my way.
Now our BattleMechs cool down each turn. Oh, we didn't get to see it. Alexander says, Kamea, do you read me? It's Espinosa, your uncle. Do you hear me? House Espinosa is usurping the throne. It can't be. My uncle. And Victoria. Kamea, I just watched an Espinosa BattleMech plow through an alley full of civilians. This is happening, and it's happening now. Your loyalists have fallen back to the market districts. That's where they're making their stand. What's left of the Royal Guard are doing their best, but there's something wrong with their battle mechs. Wait, what's that sound? Oh, gods!
Alexander!
Oh. Flattened by some artillery.
I've got your back.
Let's just get closer to the
Copy
objective.
that.
There's no enemies on screen, so I don't mind moving out into the open. It's over, Kamea. Your ascendancy, the Arano legacy, all of it. Victoria, what have you done? You know, Kamea, for years I loved you like a sister, but then my father helped me see it. Your family's complacency, what it's done to the Reach, our nation dwindles like a dying star, and House Arano is to blame. My father offered you a path to glory. I'd have fought under your banner proudly, served as your strong right hand. It was like a knife in my heart when you turned him away. Damn it, Victoria. I taught you better than this. You taught me lies. Kamea, for the love I once bore you, I'm going to give you a chance to surrender. I'll even spare the old man and his mech warrior if you stand down. I don't want to see you hurt, but you cannot be allowed to rule. I'll see you hang for this, Victoria. You and your father both. Do you hear me? You're traitors to the Reach, and I will fight you to the last. Then you truly are a fool. I'll spare you in spite of yourself, but you've cost your royal escort their lives. Enemy contact.
Attention, all Espinosa forces. This is Lady Victoria Espinosa. Lady Arano is to be apprehended and taken alive by my command. Fail to follow these instructions, and you will have me to deal with.
Okay, so we're back in combat. These 3 mechs are scout mechs, so they're not much of a threat. That said, we don't want to... There's no repairing in this game in mission. You repair in between battles, but in-game, there is no repairing, so any damage we can minimize is good. We're firing at a mid-range, so our lasers are less accurate because we're shooting beyond their optimal range. But the 70%, that's a pretty good shot, so I think I'm going to take this one. 70%, 90%, 85%, and we're going to shoot with everything to start thinning these guys out.
Triggering an alpha strike.
Fortunate shots there. Penetrated the
BattleMech
center
down.
torso and took its engine out, so he's down. Someone coming up. What's he going to do? Melee attack. He's not a very strong mech. That Locust is... Its mech muscles, so to speak, aren't very strong, so its melee attack is pitiful. But he reduced our defensive bonuses with that melee attack, so we took a lot more damage from those 2 lasers.
Reading you loud and clear.
Now, remember when he said earlier, I want you to run so that you're harder to shoot? These little hash marks right here, these little chevrons, that tells me how hard they are to hit. For every chevron, it's like 5% harder to hit. So these guys are going to be really difficult. Like, look at these percentages. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to do a melee attack. Melee attacks ignore evasion, so I got an 80% chance to hit him, and I'm just going to bash him right here to see if I can punch his back and just blow him up. Look how big I am compared to him. Oh yeah, there you go. Punched him right in his rear torso, blew up the engine, and took it out. Now, my mech, I'm probably just going to pass my turn. I'm just going to move closer and pass because I'm not close enough. I can't do a melee attack. And look at these percentages. That's awful. So it's just a waste to shoot at them. So I'm just going to move forward into cover, and I'm going to guard, and I'm just going to let them have their turn. Or maybe not.
Attention, citizens of Coromadir 6. This is Lord Santiago Espinosa. With the unanimous support...
Oh, I didn't mean to skip the dialogue there. Anyways, he says something like, I am the guy who's running this joint now. You know, throw down your weapons or I will snap you like a pencil. That's basically what he said. Paraphrasing. Alexander says, Kamea, do you read me? Alexander, thank the gods. I thought I'd lost you when the bombs fell. You very nearly did, Kamea. The city's lost. We have to get off this planet, and we need to do it now. I can't abandon Madeira. This is my home, my birthright. The battle's over, Kamea. Lord Madeira has the right of it. It's time for you to run. Escape from this madness and live to restore the coalition another day. You're both right. My uncle has won. The Reach is his. We'll mourn for it later, the both of us. For now, you need to move. I have a dropship waiting at Shepherd's Pass. I'm on my way there right now. Hurry and meet me there, please. We're on our way.
You get to that ship, Alexander. I mean it. We will not lose you and my throne on the same day.
More enemies. Vehicles this time. Like I said, it's a bit of an endurance thing right now. We don't want our mechs to get worn down by these little piteous guys, so we need to make sure we're guarding and attacking efficiently.
Acknowledged. I'm moving.
Another Scorpion? I think this is fine. These mechs, all these enemies are really... It's the tutorial mission, so, you know, they're trying to make it a little easier on you.
Vehicle destroyed.
Okay, we got one of them. And we get to go a second time. I'm going to use my jump jets. Jump jets allow me to not need to walk. Oh, I don't have them. That's right, my jump jets are broken. Okay, I guess I will just not do that. I haven't taken any hits yet, and I just want to get closer to the fight because my mech is slower. So even though I'm out of cover, I get 4 chevrons, 4 ticks of evasion. So anyone who takes a shot at me is going to have like a 20% accuracy penalty. And if they do shoot me, I haven't been hit yet, so that's okay. I just want to get closer to the battle. The vehicle moves. It's a striker, so missile volley coming in. Who's he going to shoot at, though? Goes after Lady Kamea. Probably a good shot, just because her evasion was the lowest. -1 evasion. Every time a mech gets hit, or anything gets shot at, they lose 1 evasion. So something that has a lot of evasion can lose its evasion if it's shot at enough. So right here, there's no movement I can make that gives me a direct shot. You'll notice that this red line, which tells me that I can make a shot, is a curve. That means that indirect weapons may shoot, but not direct weapons. And in this case, that means my autocannon and my lasers can't be used, but my missiles can be shot above, over these trees, over this hill at the target. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to fire the LRM-10, which means it fires 10 long-range missiles. And that's enough.
Vehicle down. The poor bastards.
You have my attention.
So let's move in again. Not as much cover over here. Even though there's trees, let's just move up. Like, there's no enemies at the moment. Speaking of the devil, we just detected some enemies. Fortunately, the Kentaro's a very heavily armored mech. This is your last chance, cousin. Don't make me order your death. Do whatever you must, betrayer. A headstrong fool to the end. Damn you for doing this. Captain Host, destroy them. Mastiff, my cousin, all of them. Leave no survivors.
As you command, my lady.
Okay, so even though it's our turn, we have not officially entered combat yet. The enemy gets to enter combat first. So I'm just going to try to run into a good position, because my BattleMech has not been participating very much, and it's simply because I'm just not quite as fast as they are. Oh, well, I'm just as fast as the Centurion, but the Centurion has been leading the attack. Let's kind of have our mechs fan out a little bit, so I'm going to move into cover here.
Talk to me.
Okay, so I guess we do get to go first. Alright, I'm going to move closer, because most of this mech's weapons are a bit closer range, so I'm going to move into cover right here. And so let's see what we're dealing with. They've got a really banged up Wolverine and 2 turrets. It is a laser turret, a pair of laser turrets. Let's destroy the laser turrets because they're much more fragile. And when we destroy the turrets, we're effectively destroying 2 medium lasers and 2 machine guns. That seems like a good idea. We want to just remove the amount of weapons they can shoot at us.
Say goodbye.
And is this going to be enough? Yes, that's enough. Turrets are mainly armor.
Target destroyed.
So once you get through their armor, their internal structure is really fragile. Internal structure is the gray stuff. So the gray just now turned orange, meaning at least one part of my armor is breached.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
And the mech's internal structure, which is basically like its muscles and its skeleton, is now under attack, which means the mech can start breaking down. So I'll need to protect that side of the mech. So I'm going to move Kamea up in the Kintaro, and we're going to trash this laser turret. Let me add in that LRM just for safe measure. Never know when we get hit with some bad aim. Okay, so we destroyed both of the turrets. That's 4 lasers down, and none of the turrets got to shoot, so we saved a lot of damage there. I'm going to try to flank him a little bit. Or not. I'm just going to move right here. This mech here, it's kind of more of an archer of a mech. I'm going to shoot with everything, I think. Even though 60% on lasers is not amazing. We'll probably miss 2, hit 2, but we just need to get this guy down. And even though I am taking a decent amount of heat, I can slow down my shots to maintain my heat. But my autocannons will certainly hit. But these are light caliber autocannons, so they're not going to like tear a hole in them.
All weapons committed.
Some misses for sure. But that was predicted just due to the lower percentages.
Orders.
So, let's look at the damage report. Very bright white means full armor. The darker gray means lower armor. This part here means that it's through the armor. So, we've taken a decent amount of damage on his left arm. So that would be this arm right here. So what I want to do is move up like this. And I want to shield his left arm so that he can't get a shot on it. That shot is obscured though. Can I get a cleaner shot on him? I don't think I can. Also, I want to see, am I too far from I'm going to stay right here. I think this is fine. So I'm going to tilt my mech to the left to protect my left arm. So now if he wants to shoot me, my left arm is on the wrong side. It's not going to be a viable target for him. He'll have to come around to get a shot on my left arm. So that's how you protect yourself. But I've got a great shot on him. All 80% or better, so this is going to be a great shot. Let's see what we get.
Triggering an alpha strike.
Didn't break anything because that is a tougher mech. But he's taking a beating. Where is he going? Fires his autocannon at Kamea. Kamea, her mech is... Oh, it's a pretty tough mech. It can take a beating.
Reading you loud and clear.
Like, it has 880 armor. It's, this is gonna be a brutal attack. Like, this mech she's piloting this mech is this mech is not a nice mech. It hits really hard. I'm just gonna shoot him from here. Well, maybe I can back up a little bit. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to get a good lock on the LRMs. So I'm gonna turn the LRMs off, and I'm just gonna fire with all of my missiles and both of my lasers, generating a ton of heat, but we're still below our heat limit, so let's just let her rip.
Affirmative.
Got his arm, and his autocannon got damaged, but it's not destroyed. I'm gonna move a little closer to him. Looks like I'm gonna have about the same aim on him, about 60% on the lasers and 80% on the autocannons. But once again, so, okay, look right here. Since I'm shooting at his flank, on his right side, I can't hit his left side's not legible, and you can see right here. The red tells you what side of the mech is eligible, so I can hit the left side, or his, this is his right side, and I can't shoot at his left side, but that's fine, because this weapon here is where his autocannon is. Once I blow his arm off, he'll have hardly any weaponry left. There goes his arm, and all of his main weapon is down now. He might have some weapons in his torso, and he could also just come up and, like, kick us in the shin or something. We're going to get over here. Actually, I'm just going to shoot from here since his mech is a bit banged up. Moving over the side just to protect my arm. I don't think he can really shoot too. Yeah, he has a laser and a missile launcher still, but beautiful shot coming in. I'm pretty sure this is going to take him out.
Roger that.
Yep. Right into the center torso. The mech goes down. So that's the end of Captain Host.
BattleMech down. Talk to me.
So let's get to the extraction point. Oh, Raju is blocking the way. That's fine, though. It's going to give our mechs a chance to cool down. See, mechs are going to... Let's watch our heat go down. So we lost a good amount of heat there, which is great.
Roger.
Acknowledged. I'm moving.
And I'm changing their facing. I'm spinning them around, as you can see. Thank the gods you made it, Kamea. Captain Halverson's prepping the engines now. In another 5 minutes, we'll be ready to depart. 5 minutes is a long time. Fox, you see Lady Arano to the docking ramp. When she's aboard, come back to me. We'll hold the pass against whatever comes.
Thank you, Sir Raju. Thank you both. I won't forget what you've done for me today. I promise you that.
Okay, so we'll get Kamea to the dropship, which is this... I believe this is an Overlord-class dropship. This is a Leopard-class dropship, which is a smaller type. Oh, here's Victoria. Whoa, that is a lot of mechs. She just dropped off 2 lances. So, when 4 BattleMechs are in a team, that is known as a lance of BattleMechs. So she just dropped off 2 lances, and we're severely outgunned. And looking at these mechs, these are some big ones here. Not good. I forgot to read what she said. She said something like, "Oh, this is your last chance to surrender. I'm gonna blow you up because we outnumber you, etc." Alright, Fox, I trained you for this. We'll fight side by side. Watch each other's backs. Above all else, we'll keep Lady Arano safe. Protect the dropship. It's all that matters. We cannot fight this many mechs off. That's crazy. Computer, warning, heat critical, warning, error, shutdown initiated, error, reactor offline, weapons offline, systems inoperable. Trouble with your blackjack, Fox. A shame. But that's been happening to a lot of the Royal Guard BattleMechs lately. You have numbers on us, and you've resorted to sabotage, and you're gloating about it? You have no honor, you vicious little brat. Not you or your backstabbing father. You shut your mouth, old man. My father is a great man, and I swear to all the gods you will suffer if you insult him again. Your father's a coward, and so are you. Fox, I want you to eject now. Punch out. You're no good to anybody in a broken mech, and I won't let you die today. Eject, Mech Warrior, now! That's an order. Now, come from me, Victoria. Your teacher's waiting. Come and show me what you've learned.
Mission successful.
And that's gonna end the tutorial. But we should get a cutscene. Any moment, we will get a cutscene, I think. Well, this is going to, there's technically one tutorial mission left, but it much closer mirrors a real mission. But I mean, we're already over 1 hour, so hopefully the game's saved. If it doesn't, I'll just run through the tutorial again, and we'll pick up right where we left off, because I could just turn it into fast mode and go through it. I will try to make the episodes shorter, because I just wanted to get through the tutorial, give you a taste of it, and I'm not going to show every little mission, because a lot of them are procedurally generated missions where you level up and grind up money and whatnot. But I'll definitely want to show you the different battle mechs and whatnot. And there is a lot of reading. What I might do is, like, for example, there's a lot of story right here with Darius. I might do half episodes where you've got episode 1, then there might be an episode 1.5, and in episode 1.5, I might do nothing but reading. So that if you're not interested in the story, you could just skip to, like, episode 2, and then if there's a 2.5 and you don't want to hear the reading, you can just skip to episode 3. I might do that. You know, you guys give me feedback on how much of the battles you want to see. And also let me know when you're okay with me moving it up to fast speed, because fast speed is going to let us get through the battles faster. Also, they shoot your weapons a bit more realistically. Like, in Battletech, normally you just, like, zap the crap out of people. Like, you don't fire them as slowly unless you're really, really aiming. Because not all the games are like this, where it's like a turn-taking strategy game. The most famous of the Battletech games are cockpit simulators, where you're actually piloting the BattleMech. And, but yeah, anyways, I'm hoping I'll be able to convert a few of you guys into Battletech fans, because like I said, this is a childhood formative game for me. But, you know, it's not for everyone. It is a slower paced game. It's more of a thinking man's game, but if you really like strategy games, if you like games with a lot of customization involved, where you can, like, build your BattleMech, change the weapons, and either make something that's amazing, or you can make something that's just terrible, that's highly dysfunctional. It's really up to you. And like I said, if you're a fan of, like, Fire Emblem, of XCOM, of any kind of turn-taking strategy game, you would like this. And also, if you play this, you would also not entirely know how to play the board game, but you would have a huge leg up on somebody else if you were ever to try to play the board game, because, like, it's not an expense. It's like $20 to get the starter set, and there's enough battle mechs for more than 2 people. Like, you could do, like, 2-on-2 or something like that. It comes with a board and everything. Anyways, yep. So there's your introduction into the Battletech universe. A little bit of a history. One last thing before I go. One last thing. Let's look at the old Blackjack, since that's, like, our mech. The Blackjack. So, yeah, here we go. The Blackjack. Here's the old... Oh, let me get a picture. Let me see a good picture of it. Yeah, so here's what the Blackjack looked like back in the day. Like I said, it's got a very, like, 1970s, 1960s, like, danger, Will Robinson look. At the time, though, they looked badass. They were super cool looking, like the old art style. And what they did is they just came back and, like, redesigned them. They didn't redesign them so much that you don't recognize them, though. Like, you know, like, this is clearly, like, look, with the 2 autocannon arms, you know, it's clearly the Blackjack. But I'll do this. As we find mechs, I will show you what the old original designs look like. This is the super classic art. This, like, if you were to read the books and a Blackjack was in the book, they would include a picture of this at the very end of the book so that you could visualize what the battle mechs look like. Like, I'll always remember that. That was one of my favorite parts of the book, is, like, getting to see what the mechs look like, the ones that I had never heard of. But, yep. At any rate, that's the end of this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. Like this video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future Battletech content. And of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.